Good evening, everyone. This is Abdullahi speaking. Today's topic is the mountain lion, the cougar, the catamount, the American North American lion, as some people call it. Well, that's not exactly the case. You see, the American lion is basically the cougar, which is a panther. It is not necessarily from the genus Panthera, which makes it not a panther, but rather a big cat of another genus. So basically, people these days, unfortunately, and upon my visit to Align Zoo, I realized that they are writing about it, the American lion. Well, in a scientific term, this is not exactly the reality of it, because if we look back in the evolutionary biology, we see that the fossils that have been found in Northern American tar pits of Los Angeles and elsewhere indicates the Panthera leo atrox, which is the North American lion. So if you say the cougar is the North American lion, it totally fails, and it does not indicate the truth, because the cougar coexisted at 11,000 to 13,000 years ago with the Northern American lion, and in that case, these are totally different animals and species within the big cat family. Totally of different genus. So today I'm speaking of the mountain lion because it's not basically a lion, but because the first people who came to Northern American lands were the discoverers, the discovery teams, the discovery parties, and the discovery ships coming from the Kingdom of Spain and elsewhere from Europe. So once upon landing on these beaches, they realized that there is an animal that basically dwells in the mountains, and to them it resembled a lion. Well, basically, if you look at the face of the cougar, it's very similar to the lion, although the similarities are very, very huge. I will cover the differences in another video where I basically indicate the differences between the Asiatic lion, the African lion, and I will add to that the cougar, which is the mountain lion, and how totally different it is. So these sailors, upon landing on these beaches, basically came to a conclusion that there are mountain lions in the areas of the United States of America, on the coastal lines inside of the Arizona desert and elsewhere around the American continent. Okay. So now I'll define the cougar, and as you know, I define any animal by three ways. Basically, I identify it by its genus, by its diet and the environment in which it lives, and basically then we look at some of its habitual habits. So basically, the cougar has a broad range. The fact is that, you see, the cougar is one of the most named animals in the world. It really is, and it has a huge varying range. From North America to Southern America, you can find it in the Amazon rainforest. It exists in the Andes mountains in Southern America, where the Andes came to be known as the Lion Mountains. And that's name is basically coming out of the cougar, because it's very occurring in these mountain ranges in the Andes. It is also found in the Amazon rainforest. It's full of mountain lions, which the cougars everywhere there. They also dwell in the American deserts of the Midwest American, in the United States of America, in the state of Arizona, in the state of Los Angeles, and elsewhere. Also, they dwell in the northern Canadian mountain ranges, in very snowy areas, in very, very cold climatic range in the northern hemisphere. Northwestern hemisphere. So if we look at the diet of the mountain lion quickly, we find out that it mainly hunts deers, North American deers in general. And although it's a specialist in deers, it also has a variety of other items, prey items, like the it's also found preying on wolves at times, and on fox and on other species as well. So it's a very, very super adaptive animal, if I may say here. So looking at the behaviors of the mountain lion, despite it is called the mountain lion, it's actually not a lion. It does not have a pride of its own. Basically, a male, upon growing up, grown by his mother, and his father would only meet his mother for mating. in a specific territory of which the female is. And mountain lions are known to have huge ranges, literally one of the biggest ranges of any big cat in the world. So around an area of roughly 100 miles, one male would encompass its range and territory for a lot of maybe 3 females at a time. And these females would give birth to 2 kittens, 3 kittens usually, and then they are raised in a secluded area, usually in mountain range or on forest, coniferous forest, for example, which is very popular in the northern Canadian ranges or the American northern ranges. And so they are solitary animals. They don't live in prides. Once the baby is the kitten is grown up, then it travels on its own and it starts to establish a territory of its own after it's capable of hunting and basically adapted to the behaviors of a natural adult mountain lion. So that's about its diet and habitat. Although the behaviors are very, very complicated to just speak of them, it's now being studied by the Northern American scientists in Arizona, in Los Angeles, in other parts of the country. So to me, the mountain lion is a very representative animal of its own, a unique animal, one of the biggest ranges ever an animal encompassed for its own. North America as well as Southern America, very impressive, very well adaptive animal. It also now is adapting to urban areas, which is an impressive thing. It's one of the most amazing and beautiful animals as well, if you look at it. An animal similar to the lion, my favorite animal, but it is not a lion. Almost a lion, but it is not. It's fascinating to me. One of the most fascinating animals. One of the most elusive animals, like the leopard. One of the most powerful animals, and its striking power is very, very unique. The way it basically jumps on a deer and suffocates it. That's a very unique, actually a very unique hunting behavior it has. And it's an ambush predator as well. It would stand there and guard its carcasses and prey against, horde of wolves, packs of wolves, literally. It's a very impressive animal, and I'm really fascinated with it, and that's why I came to make this video in the first place. So I hope to see these animals doing better in the Northern American continent. The mountain lion, catamount, call it whatever you want, the cougar, the puma. It is what it is, an impressive animal that still adapts to changing habitat, to its destruction of habitat, to the destruction of its habitat. And with that being said, I hope to see you again on another video. Peace.